drumming and the communications of rhythm structure, the European people from England, they never appreciated it to any extent. They threw it behind their backs. And the police department, the government colonial days, they was highly brainwashed. They exist with fear because the white man was the bosses. And the chief of police those days that I'm talking about, they were white. The highest rank for a black man in the police force was sergeant. From the superintendent and the chief of police all used to come from England. And the police force existed with fear.
But what about the musical part of the police force, like the police band? Can you remember in terms of, was it always predominantly white or black, or what?
The bandmaster.
The bandmaster.
The bandmaster always used to be white, coming from England. Even the best of guys in the country. I can remember, I don't want to call names,
yes.
The lots of musicians in the militia band. Those days were militia band before they integrated the police band. They were musicians there, 100% talented than even the bandmaster. And the highest rank he could have got was sergeant. And when the 3 or 4 years contract is finished with that European white man, he goes back and is another bandmaster. No promotion for the...
Well, you think they had a great influence in the country at that time in terms of creating that upsurge for people getting involved into music?
Yes, but scope were limited. Scope were limited, access, privileges was limited. The European people had everything. They conducted everything. When they say move, you have to move. I don't like to go back to that too much and to emphasize on that. But the little that I am aware of, it was an ugly image. Things have changed quite a lot.
But in terms of the, were there any musicians who were able to migrate, say, to London, to the United States, to France, or some of the European countries because of their knowledge?
Yes. Yeah. Well, we had Rudolph Dunbar. You heard of him?
Yeah.
He was a Guyanese. He used to be in the militia band when he was a boy, and he integrated in England, and he elevated himself. There he studied, and he became an international band leader, conductor, and he used to tour all over the world. And we had Wally Bowen. We had Charlie Knights. All those guys. As a matter of fact, the militia band, before it was police band, went to England. And they did a good job there and came back. When they came back, these guys decided to elevate themselves further, and they studied.
If I understand, I cannot remember the guy's name, but there was an individual in Guyana who was a prominent musician, and he had applied for a band leader position in Trinidad. And when they found out that he was a Guyanese, they didn't hire him.
Oh, well, let me tell you something about that.
Was there anything in the colonial time? Was that a colonial conflict? Or?
Because, if you can remember, when they had a federal government.
Oh, federation.
Federation, we had a guy, Milton Jones was his name. He used to be in the police band in Guyana, the militia band and police band. Because he was in the militia band before and they changed the police band. He left here and he went to Trinidad and became a member of the police band in Trinidad. And they advertised for somebody to go to Medical College in England under the Federation, the federal government. Yeah. Studied in Medical College, and when the person returned back, they will lead the federal band. The federal band. He applied and he got the break and he went up to Medical College and he studied there. And when he returned to Trinidad, then they found out he's not a Trinidadian. And they objected to giving the post.
even though it was a federation,
Right.
and Guyana was also
But
included.
to be honest, right, the federation system broke up. The federation broke up. And that was it. And he didn't get the break. He didn't get the break. He went to Guyana to see if he could, having got the knowledge, he went to Guyana, and he didn't get through because we too, Guyana was changing their policy because after we gained our nationhood, things was changing. And he left and he came back to the United States of America.
What's your input in terms of the prominence of reggae, you know, during your time in Guyana, playing in Guyana, and also throughout the Caribbean?
Well, reggae had some stages. They had the ska first. First they had the ska. Then they had the rock steady. The similar movements. But different era and different musicians with more modern ideas. Reggae came in and it becomes permanent. As you've seen, it has broke through. And reggae is Jamaica's national identity. Well, let me tell you about Guyana. When we were approaching nationhood, I realized we hadn't anything for our national identity. Just as Jamaica has the reggae, Trinidad has the calypsos, Venezuela has the bossa nova, Cuba has their cha-cha-cha, Argentine tango and rumba and all this kind of a thing, and the samba, Brazil with the samba, those are their national identity. Realizing these things, I have been always composing tunes, trying to portray something of our own. And I used to call them the Creolese. Like when I made
Creole Licks.
Creole Licks,
Yeah.
Creole Girl, Creole, different names captioned each record I made. I called Creole something. Until when we were approaching independence, it dawned on me, I said, my goodness, we don't have anything for our national identity. And I started to work hard and I explored a rhythmic beat. I tried to put points together there and I couldn't sleep and I got it together. And the boom. And I invited the government, I wrote them a letter, invite them to come and hear what I have to offer the country for its national identity. And Winifred Garcia was the Minister of Culture at the time.
Yeah.
She received my letter and she wrote me in a week's time and said she passed it on to the Art Council. The Art Council, I looked out for the Art Council to approach me. Nothing. We were approaching independence. We had approximately 7 more weeks for the rightful celebration of independence. Vivian Lee, who had a recording studio, and you know that name,
yes,
he
yeah.
promoted lots of artists, and he heard the people talking about this Storm Charles boom and so on. And I was featured in the Chinese Association one night, and the name of that boom, people came there in droves just to hear the boom, what I had to offer.
Yeah, can you demonstrate for us, please, the rhythm there?
Yes. Let me show you. Boom. made a recording. I made a recording with Decker. And that's within the 7 weeks when we were approaching nationhood. And we made 50,000 of the recordings of the boom, and it sold out. It sold out 1 week before independence, and we repeated it harder. Of course, you know, we have lots of VIPs, people from all over the world, and they have independence celebration of a country. What happens there? And that was a hit. So I made a kind of boom. I had it in 2 versions, the instrumental, and I featured Billy Wade with the vocals. And that was a good job.
What's your immediate response to Carifesta, viewing Carifesta now? You think a lot of artists, young artists, were able to be, get new exposure?
Well, in my estimation, it's a very good thing. It's a very good thing because lots of hidden talents were lying down there in Guyana, but still, there's something wrong. There's something wrong. To have these recordings explored, I don't believe we have the contact. Something is wrong. I can't give my tongue liberty to say what's wrong. But we have equal good talent at any other place.
Yeah, I know in Trinidad they have what they call this better village competitions, where they go around to different villages and the performance, and then you get the best group.
I don't know what's going on.
And all that.
Remember, I left here approximately 15 years now. When I left here, they had a Republic celebration, and I won the Band of the Republic. They had a band contest there, and I won the Band of the Republic. And that was my last appearance with my band, Syncopators, the Town Child Syncopators in Guyana. And I left 2 months after because problems came in. Turmoil, the country went into turmoil. The chief of police stopped the dances at 12 o'clock.
What about transportation before the early?
Well, we used to use the train many years ago, the rail.
Going to, say for instance, you want to commute to Essequibo or Leguan or Puerto Rico.
Well, I used to visit all those places.
Yeah.
Transportation was very, very difficult. To get to play for a dance in some certain parts of Essequibo, we have to leave in the morning and travel all day.
With all the instruments.
With all the instruments to play in the night. Travel through adverse conditions.
So this ban, in terms of the shortages, during the latter part where there were shortages of gasoline, and then the new ban on music, picnics, I think it was. You think that hindered the progressive move of, because if I remember correctly, in the 60s and in the 70s, there was a kind of upsurge of string bands, the return of the electronic era, where a lot of musicians. How did you really adapt to that?
Well, let me tell you about that. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. When we started the Syncopators Orchestra, we were just 6. We played jazz, Latin American tunes, and calypsos. And when I toured Trinidad with the Syncopators, we toured Trinidad with 6 of my men. And we made quite a wonderful impression. And we had the guitar then. 2 saxophones, E-flat alto, tenor sax, lead trumpet.
You mean an electric guitar?
No, we hadn't any guitar then. Just piano, drums, and the double bass on the cello.
Yeah.
Those were what was reigning those days. And after returning from Trinidad, I augmented the band. As a matter of fact, I brought 2 guys from Trinidad with me, and I augmented the band from 6 to 8. I brought a tenor saxophonist, and I brought a trumpet player. And the band developed further, and still had the name as #1 band. And after I noticed the combos were coming in, 3 guitars, well, the combos,
Yes.
the 4 and 5 pieces. The young people were going after this thing. And just imagine, this is how I assessed it. I called my men, I said, look, we have to change our system. We have to augment the band with guitars, because if we do that, we'll be in a better position, because the combos that taking a foothold, they don't have brass. And if we bring in strings, we'll be having strings and brass.
Yes, yeah.
And those are the days when James Brown, Otis Redding, Arthur Connolly, and all these guys were doing fantastically well. So what we did, I imposed the guys, so let's change this thing. They refused. They said it was an insult to play that type of music, because their opinion that most of these combos, they couldn't read music.
Yeah, pan in church.
Right. Well, we had a way that said they're only instrument players, yeah, but we are musicians.
Yeah.
And you know what happened? I decided, let's change the cello and bring a bass guitar. That was my first effort. I did that. Then I brought a rhythm guitar. Then I brought a lead guitar. When I started to play the tunes off the records, well, I had a system. I'm not playing any recorded tune unless I play just as good or better. And lengthen it, because, you know, it was short, the records are always short. The dancing, you're playing for dancing,
yes, yeah,
you have to lengthen the tune. So I lengthened the tune and played these tunes off the record. So I never played a tune off the record unless it's just as good. And I captivated the audience. Then, the grounds that I lost, I regained it back. How I knew I lost the grounds? On August month, every August month, I played 27 and 28 days, bookings, no rest. Out of 28 days in August, 10 or 12 are day and night. So when it comes to the end of August, we are so tired, we're playing by instinct. When I discovered, to convince my men that we are losing prestige, losing some engagement, by February month, August bookings are booked, already closed. I noticed in my booking capacity that August month, in February, March month, I only had 12 bookings, which are usually covered. Bookings closed. I called the immediate meeting and I explained to the guys, I said, let me tell you all something. This is your livelihood. If we don't change our system, we'll find ourselves as paupers.
So the musicians that you were members of your band, they used to work full-time as musicians?
Full-time.
Yeah.
My band was the only band in Guyana that the musicians, the members did full-time, not part-time, full-time. We could not have done any other job, because we were going into the 3 counties every day, traveling day and night from one place to another place, all the way. This was the only band, Syncopated was the only band that played.
When playing in the different districts, there is anything that you think that is that you could compare one district with the next, or there is a kind of different appreciation, musical appreciation?
Yes. To maintain our booking, I had to study the system, the reactions of the people. I can actually tell you, in the Essequibo district, the type of music the people like, and the east coast of Demerara, type of music, and in Bobbies, West Coast Bobbies, East Bank Bobbies, the type of music they like. There are some villages, the adults comes out to the entertainments, and they really wanted the antiquated tunes, the old-time tunes. Well, music is music. You remember they used to have the square dances, quadrille dances, and all that kind of thing, and they used to ask for those tunes. We couldn't play for a dance the entire night with it, unless we played about 3 or 4 of those square things.
You think some of the villages were more critical than some in terms of the standard that they expect?
Yes, some villages, more young people support dances. And there are some villages, the churches, the Anglican, especially the Anglican churches, they sponsor functions. They call it patronal festival and different name, tea and dance. In the day, it's for the younger kids. In the night,
teacher George
right,
Young. Yeah.
Right, you make mention about Buxton. Well, Buxton, all the various villages, my band played for all the Anglican churches in the three countries, Exeter, Demerara, and Berbice. Buxton, where you belong, they used to call it the Patronal Festival. I played for the Patronal Festival for 20 years. And not Fridays, not Saturdays, Mondays, all Tuesday. So the different villages where the Anglican churches are established, they had a system. And I was fortunate I played for them, and even the Roman Catholics, I used to play for them too.
What about giving us a little demonstration on the Indian rhythms, just a little, and then on the congos,
Okay, well, before I started an Indian beat, I used to be carried away. Where drumming is concerned, I became interested in drumming for all type of culture. Once is drumming, from even the Salvation Army. I like that. My parents had trouble with me. Anytime they're drumming, anything I drum, any place, I have to be there. And my parents do it. They have to take me there because I'll die if I don't hear it. Well, let me take you something, give you a little demonstration. There are different rhythmic beats for different occasions to the Indians. Let us say, for wedding. I can't say precisely if it's Mohammedan, Hindu, or what, but I play one of the rhythm or they play for wedding.
Different reasons: fleeing oppression and starvation, political indoctrination and repression, poverty, oh poverty, penury. They are running, running. The Caribbean man, the Guyanese man, east, west, north, south. The diaspora, how come? You must be accepted in North and Central America, Europe, and even in South Africa, and you cannot see the light of a Caribbean man, a South American man, settling in the Caribbean islands. Whether you have oil, mango, and cannot grow grass, the diaspora, can you see the light? A Caribbean man telling a South American man in desolation that he is a victim of improvement. Can you see the light? Men from the same ship and in the same boat, standing in the same port, skip the beat, lost the rhythm. Oh, the Caribbean man, a South American man, the universal man. Can you see the light? Men from the same ship and in the same boat, standing in the same port, skip the beat, lost the rhythm. Oh, the Caribbean man, a South American man, the universal man. Be strong, respect self, love each other, feed, improvise mind, teach the weak, eradicate petty trading, understand the marketplace, know your history, uplift the tradition, take a stand, join the family, men of spine are on the move, obsession.
about the Portuguese and the Amerindians or the Chinese? Were they any kind of influence, you would say?
No, well, the Portuguese, it was a problem there in our estimation because the Portuguese, they tried to impress the blacks that they were white. The Portuguese tried to impress the blacks that they were whites. And as far as I knew, the whites never accepted them. So it was a controversy there. And they have never introduced a rhythmic culture to us, the Portuguese. They imitate the whites all the time. And the whites is European music all the time.
What about the Amerindians? Were the Amerindians, they used to commute to like Demerara or, I know they have some in terms of the Visma area.
Well, the Amerindians, they were so divided up. It's a long historical thing. They were so divided up that they just struggled to survive. Where entertainment was concerned, we never enjoyed them, what they used to have to present to us. We never enjoyed them. They were so divided.
Yeah, I think to wrap up, we like to demonstrate. I know this is your favorite,
one of my
favorite instrument, and if you could give us a couple. And I'll try to I'll do a poem.
Oh, you want to do a poem? Yeah, sorry, we're glad to accompany you. Let me just get this sauce here. You want to do a poem or you want me to start?
Start.
Okay.
People naked in the sun, reflecting on the trenches. No water to quench their thirst. They all die, then they are no wise. The earth consumes the bread. The sky hurdles no rain to soothe panting tongues and scorched backs, scars. I don't know if there are any questions from members of the audience, that's what I'd like to ask Tom Charles.
I like to hear you just get deep into the drum beat of your time.
Let me play something.
And just let the rhythm take your soul.